Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and welcome to another ENFP male interview. Today, I am interviewing Natalie. So, Natalie, welcome.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, good. Can you tell us your full type, please?
Yes, I am an ENFJ, audio, blast, play, sleep, consume.
And when you got your typing results back, what did you think and how did you feel?
I was so confused because I was like, I guess in my mind, I had kind of tuned out the fact that I am constantly responding to other people. And I was like, there's no way, I'm definitely TI. Like, I've got this. I know I'm right. So I didn't really assume that my type was wrong, but I definitely had to take a couple weeks there and like really process it through.
Now that you've gotten a chance to process it, how do you feel about it?
Well, I'm pretty happy. Like, it's a nice type to have because it's very easy to be social. You know what I mean? And then now that I know my weak points, I've got a fair chance to kind of work on those too.
Right. Well, why don't we start with that? So your strong point is your FE, your extrovert feeling, and it's feminine. How do you personally experience that?
It almost feels like I can like feel the brain chemicals that correspond to emotions lighting up in my head as I go through the world. So like if I go to like a funeral or a wedding or anything with a lot of emotions, it becomes very overwhelming for me because I feel like I can feel everyone's emotions around me. Does that make sense?
It does, but well, I'm an EPEJ, so I can also connect with people's feelings. But like I think where we're a little bit different is mine's FI, yours is like FE, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering so you said that you feel everyone's feelings, let's say if you go to a funeral, right? When does it happen when the feeling is your feeling? It's not like everyone else's feelings.
Well, that's the joke, isn't it? That doesn't happen.
Serious? So serious?
Like, it's almost like you have to like kind of like replicate FI. So for me, the only intense feelings of my own that I get are from the work that I do. So like let's say, you know, I've been working on a project for a couple of months for work, and you know, then I can feel pride, which I guess is too specific of a word. Like I can like feel the hard work that went into that, and that is my own and no one can move that. But it's not like I'm experiencing something emotional for myself. It sounds crazy. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting how like the feeling is not yours.
Yeah, and it's funny because FE can see FI, and you're like, oh, okay, I get that. But then I feel like FI has a hard time seeing FE. You're like, what the heck is going on here?
Well, I think I think the self above tribe FI cannot see it, but
Yeah,
like tribe above self has some can see some of it because like
yeah,
I'm still connected to everyone. So
yeah,
when someone's suffering, I know they're suffering. Like I can
yeah.
feel it. I'm not gonna copy their emotion. I'm not gonna cry or anything, but I
I
can.
will.
Yeah, you will. 'Cause you're feminine FE, right? But I won't. Like I'll be like, oh man, that's horrible. Like I feel bad. I feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, or if someone's like really happy too, like excited and stuff, I'll also feel like I was like, oh, good for that person. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like I'm not happy like on my face. It doesn't mirror the emotion like you do. Yeah. Um. So you have a so with your feminine FE, do you is it very easy for you to cry or
Oh yeah.
feel very emotional? Like
Yes, it is almost like too easy. So I like if I'm watching movies or listening to music, everything in my life can be fine and I can be happy. But if I'm watching a movie that has a lot of emotions, just waterworks. I cry like a little baby. And it's like it's entertaining to other people, but I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like it is so intense in my head right now,
yeah.
all of these emotions that I'm crying. Like I don't want to be crying in front of you.
Yeah. But because you have FE, like you don't feel like the emotions are personal, right? So it's not like the worst thing in the world.
No, that's the best part about having FE is you know that any type of emotion that you feel, even if it is the happy ones, um, they're gone. They're gone. You know, if it's not today, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next week, maybe it's next month sometimes whenever things get bad, but like you know that they're gonna move. and you know that it's easier to make the move if you're more, around other people, like you're spending more time with other people.
I was talking to Benjamin on a previous interview, and we were kind of comparing, like earlier you said that FE can see FI and TE can see TI, and like, you take turns making each other feel bad, like, so for me, I told him, I'm like, okay, well, with like FE and the FE person's like sharing all their feelings. I'm like, oh, that's gross. Keep it to yourself, like, like, but then for him, he said that with TE and TI, it's like, and when someone asks him, like, what are you thinking? He's like, oh, that's gross. Like, don't ask me what I'm thinking. So,
Yes.
so I want to ask you personally about like how you personally like experience this. So have you ever have you had like an FI friend and you're like, I guess, oversharing your feelings and they got like upset? You're like, come on, stop this. Like,
Yeah, I actually, so from my, experience, I believe that my last roommate that I had was lead masculine FI. And it was almost like it was easier for her to live with me, because with feminine FE, I can hide, like, if I'm annoyed with you, I can hide it like that. Or like, if I'm like upset about something, I can hide it. But with masculine FI, she, like, if she was mad, she was very mad. So to take what you're asking, it was almost the opposite, where I would like be looking at her like, oh, you're oversharing way too much. Like FE, like, no, like you're not staying in the middle with your sharing. But I think that maybe a misconception is that with, lead FE, like you're constantly verbally emoting, which is not so much the case. Like, I'm so afraid of showing, my emotions because they might not be in the middle, that mine's more of a body language kind of thing. So if I like, instead of oversharing, I'm like, instead of oversharing that something is gross, I'll just go and expect other people to look at it if they really want to know how I feel.
So from what I get from you, the roommate with masculine FI, it's not like an oversharing thing, but maybe it's like she's wrecking the vibe
Yeah, definitely.
by like being such a downer and like
Yeah.
being like a dark cloud in your
Yeah.
apartment when you're like, you don't feel sad, so you want to like be happy, but then there's like a dark
Yeah.
cloud like looming just in the room beside you, and you're
Yeah.
like, come on, just like,
Yeah. Or maybe like even so much, I think that it might have been um like going too long without expressing emotion. So you have this buildup of whenever you finally like bring it out to the tribe, you
Yeah.
just go on and on and on about it because it's introverted. So you sink all the way down to the bottom of it. But like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not explaining myself the right way. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I don't know if you do this, but I've noticed with some extrovert feeling people, they like to really share about their personal life to to everyone. Like it's like, oh, I had a fight with my boyfriend. This guy's he's a piece of shit, blah blah. And then they'll like just tell everyone. And like I'm like, okay, I think that maybe we should like that's kind of personal. Like maybe like don't share it to everyone. But like
Yeah.
with people with FE, I noticed that it's kind of like the norm. Like it's like, yeah, it's not a big deal if I share about like this kind of stuff. So do you find yourself doing some of that stuff personally?
So whenever I was a little kid, I was just like that. Like everything that happened like in my life, I would go around sharing with everyone. But then, like you share too much enough times and you get burned. So the older me now is just like, I'll have 1, 2, or maybe 3 friends at a time that I will just overshare, but only with them, like not with everyone else. Actually, in conversation, really, I'm the one that stays quiet and lets other people talk.
Yeah.
Because I know what happens if I do start oversharing.
Yeah, that makes sense to me because like I'm also DE, so when I was younger I did overshare also, and then I'm like, yeah, and then later on like you get burnt and you're like, okay, I should stop doing that. It's kind of cringy,
Yeah,
like,
I'm glad my memory isn't super good and I can't remember everything from the
yeah.
time I was born.
Let's go over your second function. Sorry, it's NI. It's also feminine NI. But you have it in a savior state. So is it you're organizing your concepts, your patterns, and
Yes.
whatnot? How do you personally see that for yourself?
So a lot of it, have you ever heard anyone say that feminine NI is like running water? Like it just flows everywhere?
I have not heard of that analogy.
Oh, okay. Well,
But you can
you wouldn't get it. You're not SENI, so. No, I guess a lot of it is almost like just being in your imagination all day. But I mean, like, so if, I maybe did something wrong on like a project I was working on, instead of actually fixing it in real life, like in the very moment, I'm just imagining, okay, what would happen if this would have happened, or what if repeated over and over and over again. But like in terms of like learning, I would say that NI is perfect for becoming like the master of a certain concept. So like the professor almost, because whenever you're interested in something, or your NI is interested in something, sorry, I'll speak for myself. Whenever my NI is interested in something, I will learn everything from the very first moment that the concept existed until current day, and it becomes obsessive. Like it's almost like OCD, but I'm balanced with it, so I guess I don't actually have OCD.
And then I guess because it's NI, it's like one singular concept. You don't like try to like jump to other stuff. There's like one thing that you want to master in your life that you're really good at. And
I mean, I feel like at any given time I have about 10 NIs in one section, but yeah, like
okay.
I like my intuition is just sticking with like one concept, and then like not relating another concept in my NI to the two. So if I'm theorizing about this one thing and then I'm theorizing about this thing, I won't theorize about the two of them together.
Your NI is also feminine. So do you so after you've organized all the stuff, do you forgot what you organized?
Yes, every day. I make all these great plans, and if I don't write them down, I just forget them.
I see. So you do have.
And then, like in reality, I'm like sitting here like, what was it? What was it that I was trying to think of, and I can't remember now.
Yeah. Your blast is double feminine, double activated. How do you personally experience that? That's an interesting one, because it's like you're trying to control someone's behavior, I guess, or
that's how you see it. That's not how I see it.
right. I mean,
no, I know. I'm not knocking on you.
But it's double feminine, so it doesn't come across as aggressive. But like, so I mean, how do you see it?
So like you said, having double feminine, double activated saviors, and then I'll get into the blast, but it's just on the outside, everyone sees you as nice and wiggly and, literally double feminine because I'm pushing it so hard. But whenever it comes to blast, it's almost like I have this obsessive nature that I need to have a plan for me, and I need to have a plan for my tribe, whoever it is at the moment. And if I don't have that, then I can't calm down. Like I just can't calm down. I lost my train of thought there for a second. I got so wrapped up in it that I was like,
It's also feminine and I. So
yeah, I know. Stop calling me on it.
yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it's really not controlling other people as much as it is like controlling the plan. So I want to make sure that everyone is getting to where they're going. Like I want to make sure that everyone's fed, and I want to make sure that everyone is like at least emotionally stable. So I'll never be like, stop being sad. You shouldn't be sad right now. Instead, like an action I would take would be to pull someone to the side and then try to talk it out, so that way they can get back to a middle ground. It's like, I feel like whenever you get more masculine, Effie, it like pushes like values, like you should value this, Gary V, like you should really value NFTs. And like for me, it's like what you like, and then I'll like what you like with you.
I think it's like super different from the ESFJs, because like I think for them they are more controlling with the feelings and stuff, but with like the ENFJs more like they're trying to like pump you up. Like,
sorry, I have a dog.
That's all good. Yeah, so I feel like with the ENFJs, you guys are more like pumping people up, making them feel like
yeah.
positive, make them feel yeah. So, I also relate to what you said, like having double activated, double feminine savior. Like I'm double feminine, double activated and NT play, right? So before our interview, I work in the fitness industry. So earlier I was teaching a class on foam rolling, And then this one woman kept going up to me. He's like, you're so happy, Kendrick. You're so happy. You're such a happy person. And I'm like, I think externally, yes, but internally it's like double masculine. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah. So,
Yeah, I know what you mean, where it's like everyone around you thinks that you're like so nice and approachable and like just such a good time, but inside is like, no, there's a demon in here, like
no,
an actual
100%.
demon.
Yeah. We're gonna work our way towards that conversation.
Yeah, sorry, skipping ahead.
Yeah. No, we'll get there eventually because like that's like the spicy stuff. So we'll get there. All right, cool. Let's go over to your SE next. Masculine SE. So how do you personally experience that?
Oh my God, I want to create my own chaos. Like I really like, there's nothing more satisfying than a hard day of work and then like breaking something, like physically breaking something. And it's like also with masculine FE, like I'm pushing what is the best onto other people.
Yeah.
And then so if I like this like one type of makeup, because that's what my SE likes, is like makeup and food. So if I like this one type of makeup, I will literally like put it on someone else, like my friends. I'm like, you'd really like this lip gloss. Look, it's so good. It's literally the best lip gloss I've ever had.
You get like really sassy about it, like when it's kind of
Yes.
stuff.
I'm like, you don't get it. Like you need to see how great this is.
Yeah. Were you pretty athletic then growing up with that masculine SE? Like were you pretty like good at sports and stuff?
Yeah, so I could run you through like all 15 different sports that I've played, but just with masculine SE, it's like I don't like it, I'll play a different sport. Okay, I don't like it, I'll play a different sport. But yes, I was very athletic, and one thing I've noticed about like my like physical body is I put on muscle very quickly, as to where I know some people that it takes them like a year to build up 5 pounds of muscle or something like that. Like it takes me about, I don't know, like a month.
So you get really fit quickly if you wanted to.
Yes, which is great because I can be lazy for a long time and then I just go to the gym for 1 week and I'm right back to where I started.
That's so BS. I hate that. Like I have, I have like some SE friends and like they'll do exactly what you described. They'll like eat garbage, completely wreck their health, and then when they get too far, they're like, okay, they're gonna go to the gym for like a month, and they won't even eat healthy. They'll eat like Burger King and stuff, and they'll get a 6-pack, and I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. Like it's such.
I do feel bad for people that don't have it that are in the fitness industry.
Yeah, no, yeah, I have a buddy who's like that. He's not in the fitness industry. He cooks food for like a living, but like, yeah, he'll get really ripped like within 1 month. It's unfair, but life's not fair, so it is what it is.
Yeah. That's so funny though that you said that he cooks food, because that's another thing that I've noticed. Like masculine SE is like really big about food and like pushing like that, like different types of taste onto other people.
Yeah, like I guess you want to sample the best and see the best.
Yes, and the most unique. So I love like really like innovative restaurants that will put 2 foods together that should not go together, because I'm like, that's different.
What's enjoyable about doing that? I'm curious because like I don't have SE, right? So for me, like I like to eat in the same place over and over again.
Yeah.
Like
my mom's like that.
But like I noticed with the SE people, like it always has to be different and stuff. So I'm like, what is like the lure and like what's like that emotional high you get out of like trying something new, you know?
So for me, it's like literally just, it sounds so dumb, but what's the best? I will never know the best unless I try this and then I try that, and I'll go to the same restaurant multiple times because I have friends that are like that. They want to go to the same place or the same thing. So I'll go to that same restaurant, but I will order something completely different off the menu. Like I never order the same thing twice at a restaurant, and it's because I have this fear that there's going to be a better taste or flavor or texture out there that I'm not going to get to try.
Yeah.
So why would I keep picking the same thing? Because it could be out there.
Right. No, I relate to you, but like with my NE, it's like instead of
I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah, no, it's similar because like you're never satisfied with this like one system. There's a better system out there, like a better concept out there, and I'm always channel changing to something better, which is bad because clearly there's ones that are good enough, and so I get what you mean, like. Yeah, and that's like the fear of missing out, right? It's like no, but like what if there's a better system to follow, right? So I'm not gonna. So I get what you mean, but like with your SE instead, like
yeah. And I'm very glad that it's like third on my function stack, because if it were up any higher, I don't think I would be able to handle it. You know what I mean? Like, just as a third, it's more of a hobby kind of thing than it is like, you know, all consuming, like king level.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess like you can see how horrible it is if you were like an ESTP or ESFP who's like,
Yes,
like
exactly.
got on a deep end. Because like if you're already crazy at doing it, imagine like someone who's like addicted to that stuff, right?
I can't. Like, I literally could not imagine.
Your play is a SF play. In my opinion, SF play is one of the most broken animals there is. I really think it's broken. It's like almost unfair. It's like
Explain.
there's certain animals that I think is like super broken, and like if you have it, like you're unstoppable. And I think SF plays one of them because you always know what people care about the most at any given time. Like what is the most popular. So if you're running a business or even if you're just socializing, like you'll always come out ahead because you know what's the best, like at any given moment. And that's so important, like in life, in career or personal life. Like you can be the most popular person in a room that's because you know what's cool, or from a work perspective, oh yeah, like you know your employer's gonna love you because like yeah, you know what's gonna bring them the most business, you know.
Yes, like it's like it could literally be like in an interaction, something as simple as one joke could make a difference.
Right.
And like the thing that I see about, you know, SE together for play is it's also one of the stupidest combinations.
It is.
Like it's not fancy, it's not really even that smart. Like we think that like the dumbest of things are so funny. Like fart jokes for one. I've never met an SEFE play who didn't think a fart joke was funny.
Yeah. My sister, I think, is an ENFJ also, and then she loves those kind of jokes. Like she, and then yeah, like I'll go up to her, and like if she's feeling like, if she's looking depressive a little bit, I'll just go up to her. I'll be like, "Show me the money," and then she'll like start laughing her ass off, you know, like so.
Yeah.
And then my youngest sister, who's like FI, doesn't get it. I was like, "What's so funny about that?" He's like, yeah, the people with like the SF play, they like that stuff. Just play along. Just play along.
Take that one example and use it over and over
again.
Yeah, just it'll work.
Play along and then they'll it's good.
Yeah. I will say, like, you're right. Like, if you want to glamorize it that way, yeah, it is nice to be able to figure out what's popular at any given moment. And like it goes from music to like even like social groups, like. And I catch myself sometimes being like talking about something popular right now. For example, the other day I was talking to my mom and I was talking about Olivia Rodrigo and her new album. And it was just something so common. I was trying to explain to her a TikTok because she didn't get it. And it hit me like while I was doing that, not everyone sees that spectrum. And not everyone pays attention to what's popular or even what's going on like within social climates. So I have friends that will like get on Twitter to look at stocks and stuff like that. I'm like, no, you get on Twitter because it's funny. You can find new things that are funny and everyone else likes.
I think besides like that example you gave me, I think like when I was growing up, the part I was the most envious about the SF play people is like when in the party scene. Like for me, that was it. Like you can go to like a club or whatever. And like the SF play people, they just know how to have fun. Like they know how to like do the dumbest shit, like just get and they know how to do like the like they don't take it so seriously. It's just like it's just fun and just like you're just riding the wave of like, you know, having fun and just having a positive emotion, just like goofing off. And like you guys know how to party, and I've always been like kind of envious of that.
Oh yeah, that if you get a group of people with SF play, it could either be so fun that everyone remembers it for the rest of their life, or you all just get so stupid that you might go to like jail. you know?
Yeah, but even when you do something stupid, you have a funny story to tell later on. So
that's how we see it. It's like, oh well, it happened in the moment. It'll be funny later.
yeah, exactly. You know, so it's always good times with that SF play. Like I don't see any downside to it. Like you know, other than maybe you know if your lead. Like if you have it first and like you know maybe you know drank too much alcohol and like you got a car crash or something, you know, like it's
like that was such a weird example.
I don't know, like
I see where you're coming from though. Yeah, but The downside is I get so jealous of people that have TE play, like so jealous because I can't explain myself like at all, like whenever I'm working and stuff like that. So I get jealous of SETE play. They're so smart. I just watch them and I'm like, how do you do that?
Right. I guess we're always jealous of something that we don't have,
What
right?
we don't have, yeah.
Yeah, because
And
like
that's
for me, like explain the work stuff. I'm like, oh, that's easy, but like I want
yeah,
to party. I want to do like that fun shit. I want to be like a dumbass in a party and do like fun.
yeah, but whenever I play, I want to party. I don't want to work. Like,
Yeah.
so if you get too like stuck on a play like mindset, then yeah, partying for like 5 days straight and then looking around and being like, oh, I've got to go to work tomorrow.
I don't know how ST play, like how do they party? It's kind of weird because there's a lot of people who are like, what's that?
Robotically.
Because like a lot of them are in the party scene, and a lot of the cool people are like
Yeah.
that. They do like the ESFPs and stuff, and like whatnot, jumper ENTJs.
Oh yeah.
Like what are they doing? Like, but they are partying and they're still cool. So what's going on?
Yeah.
Like
I think it is a lot of like more focused. I know I keep saying work, but I feel like it's like their consume is, you know, I enjoy stuff for me, like extroverted fun. So I feel like if you were consumed last with it, maybe you wouldn't be having fun at parties.
Right. That makes sense. I guess it's their SF consume that they're using in that case.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
FP play for like a party, you're like, like, it's I can't even do it. It's so lame. But no offense.
No, I get what you mean.
Okay, let's talk about your sleep. Your sleep is NT. And I guess sleep is about puzzling things out or figuring something out. Like, how do you personally use your NT sleep?
As much as I can. No, so for me, it's like trying to find a meditative state, a state of like being very calm, just like how I switched into it just now, in order to figure out things that are happening around me or how I want to make things work. So like if you watched me at my job, I would not talk at all, or I would do something in the extroverted world, maybe type an email for 5 minutes and then sink down and seriously go into a meditative state before I actually do anything else to, I don't know, for what would be considered like efficient. Like I have to sit there for 5 minutes by myself and think about it before I can go out into the extroverted world and be efficient.
Your NT sleep is also your identity. How do you see that? That's a confusing one for me, because like with NF sleep, that one's pretty obvious to me to see. I have SF sleep, so that's pretty obvious too. And even the ST sleep, it's obvious. Like you kind of want to be like an accomplished person who builds things in real life.
Yeah.
But like, what's NT sleep? Like, what do you want to be like the guru, the person with the most wisdom? Is that what you want to be? Like, what's going on with that NT sleep? Because it's tied to intelligence, but it's not like the ST sleep people, because it's N. So there's like a part of it that you want to be like kind of makes you want to be like a high level intelligence. Like, I don't know what it is. So can you tell me how you see it?
Yeah, it's let me use an analogy. It's almost like you want to be the best inventor in the world. Because I feel like a lot of innovation is very NT, and so for it to be NITI, you want yourself to be like the fullest of inventions. That sounds stupid. That's not right. It's funny that you bring it up now, because it's, I don't know, where it is so personal and it's so abstract. Yeah. I can like only explain snippets of it, but like I can't give you the whole conceptual breakdown because, it's so personal to me.
Right.
But it is like really like it helps with work. Like I'm an engineer. Sorry, I probably should have started off saying that, but I'm an engineer. So for me, there's a lot of NT with engineering, and the things that I engineer are very personal to me, and therefore I have to be sleepy with it, like by myself. So I can sit and look at a project and then like run through all the hypotheticals of like using a certain part versus another, and I can like think about long term how this one part would last for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. A lot of projections into the future based off of something that my TI picks. So I'm not looking with this sleep, I'm not looking at what would be the best, all around. It's like, how can I make something work that I want to work? And how can I make it work forever?
From the sound of it, sounds like you're describing how you personally use NT-sleep, but
Yeah.
I would like to know, who are you with that NT-sleep? Because like it's like,
Are you saying like what's in mine?
no, I'll give you some examples of like the other
Okay.
one.
Okay.
So like I think NF sleep is the one that they use the most, like David Chan as an example,
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend has NF sleep, right? So her mantra is like discomfort over resentment. So she wants to be the kind of person that does the right thing, like that's the right thing even if it makes her feel bad, right? Or Jocko Willing, discipline equals freedom, right? Like it's like, you want to be like the most disciplined person. So you have the freedom to do the things that makes you happy. So it's the NF sleep is pretty straightforward. SF sleep is even more straightforward. SF is like popular. So yeah, you want to be the popular person, right? So, or an ST sleep, I guess, is like you want to be the most accomplished or something.
Yeah.
So who are you with the NT? Like who are you with that?
I want to be the one that can figure it all out.
Okay.
So like I just want to figure things out. That's really like not me specifically, but NT sleep is like figuring out literally anything. Like I know that sounds silly, but
do you want to be the go-to person that can figure things out, or is it more for just yourself?
No, I think that it's not just for me, Natalie May, but I think for the sleep combination is a lot of maybe a word I could use would be puzzling of abstract things.
So you want to be the person with like great wisdom?
Yes, wisdom. There we go. all around there. Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, right. Great wisdom, and it's almost like you're like the guru on top of the mountain, and like people line up to go to you, and like they have like a life problem they can't figure out, then you have to answer to that.
Yeah, so like I can like kind of like all of these would pivot, but like the guru on the mountain, like also Da Vinci, like someone who just figured all these random things out. Like whether it be like robotics or like life morals, or like just in one category, I want to be the most wise of them all.
Right. That makes sense to me then. Okay, gotcha. What about your last animal is consumed, but it's double masculine, so you can see it. It's kind of interesting. Like I have noticed people with double masculine fourth animal. It's something that's like it's in front of them. They might not use it as much as they would like, but they know how to use it and they can see it. So how do you personally see it? Like
I can use it, or I can see it and I can use it, but I get burnt out so quickly.
Yeah.
So like whether it's the most traditional sense reading, I'll have to save my energy up because I know that I have to go through my blast first, then I have to go through my play, then I have to go through my sleep. So I'll do all three of those things and then go read a book. And it's also kind of scary because it is double masculine, so it's supposed to be like your weapon that you use. But I can't access it. It's like I'm on the battlefield and my weapon is in a different city. Let me go get it and come back. And it is very aggressive, whether it be with like the work that I'm doing. I keep talking about it. See, I'm showing it to you this whole interview that like the work that I do is what I'm using and shoving outwards. And also like the clothes that I consume, like I'm very pushy about them. Yeah, and also another funny thing is like I will go like a week without spending a single dollar, and then the double masculine consume comes and acts up on the weekends, and I'll just buy a bunch of clothes and like spend a lot of money and then go back into my saviors of not spending money.
Um, I feel like I don't know if this ever happened to you, but it's just like a guess I have. So you have double masculine ST consume, right?
Yeah.
So a scenario that I kind of pictured in my head of something happening to you is like maybe you're talking to some coworkers and they're calling you out like you're wrong about something, and then you get really aggressive and you're like, I'll prove you that it's right, and then you'll take out the resource material, consume it real quick with your double masculine ST sleep, and prove to them that you were right all along. I don't know if you do that, but like that's something like I can foresee.
So in your hypothetical, if someone said I were wrong at work, it's very much like, oh yeah, I'm not wrong because this fact, this fact, this fact, this fact, and I'll take you through my whole case and like just be like very like, I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're pretty close, and I will like sneak away for a second, consume a little bit of like information, and then come back out and be like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, the sneaking out part is kind of funny because I can see you doing that. Like, you sneak out, grab the one that's the most important. It's like, see this, see this, see this. You know, like.
Yeah, and it's nice too in a business sense to have double masculine SETI consume, because that is like the most businessy thing that you could have, and you're shoving it outwards with all the facts that you have.
Yeah. It's also good if you're like a lawyer or something. Like you're.
Yeah, true, that too.
Yeah. What kind of tidal waves have you had because of the sleep last or the consume last? Sorry.
So my tidal waves typically go off of me expending a bunch of energy for other people, running around doing things for other people, convincing myself that I'm having fun. But then whenever I do hit that tidal wave and it's consume, I'm like, I will literally look around and go, wait a minute, I haven't wanted to do anything that I've been doing for the past like 10 days.
Yeah.
And I guess the way to explain it in consume terms would be like, I did not consume the fact that I did not want to do that for 10 whole days.
Oh, that's crazy.
What's that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it sounds so obtuse. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you just get so caught up, or not you, I get so caught up in the blast play that I'm like, what? I've been doing that the whole time.
That's crazy too, because like it takes, yeah, I mean, you explained that perfectly. I like the way you explained that. So what about the TI tidal waves? What do you have masculine TI so you can see it?
Yeah.
But it's in the bottom. So what's going on there?
Use your prediction machine. I can't believe you told me I was wrong. I'm not wrong because of this. Like think about Tom Bilyeu and how much he is very matter of fact, like this, that. So whenever I have my tidal waves with TI, they're usually always sparked by someone telling me that I'm wrong. It's not, I don't care if people say that the work that I'm doing isn't good, because I'm like, whatever, my TI likes it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But whenever I bring that out into the world, what I've been working on, and it's not received well, then TI comes in and is like, you know what? Screw all of you all. I am so right now. You wouldn't even get it. I've put so many hours into this. Like, you dumb TE heads are over there just like, that wouldn't work. And I'm like, no, here it is. I really want you to see it my way. Because TI spends so much time thinking about stuff that whenever, like someone else doesn't like see it your way, then it's very like, it becomes scary because, you spend so much time on it.
Yeah, I think the T looks at it and be like, that won't work for everyone, like it's
yeah.
And I'm like, but then it's upsetting for you because you work so hard on it. So
yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I noticed I'll ask you a question about ENFJs specifically, like, and then share with me your perspective on like what's causing this to happen. Okay.
Okay.
So there's a lot of things that ENFJs do that I think is quite like strange in my opinion. So I'm curious why what's happening. So I have quite a few ENFJ friends. So, and every time I do this, like they get really weird. So I'm just curious. Maybe you could explain to me. So I want to ask about like racial backgrounds. Okay. Do you know what your heritage is?
No clue. All I can say is that my entire family is from the Appalachian Mountains, and then before that, like, I don't know where we're from.
So you are part Native American and part like something else?
Yeah, in part, somewhere along the way, yeah. And then probably a bunch of white people from England. Like
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I guess it's harder if you're like a mix because like, you're like you're like everything. Like I notice sometimes when I ask an ENFJ a question about their racial background, they get really weird about it. What is it about that kind of question that would make you feel weird? Because for me, if someone asks me, oh, what's your racial background? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm born in the Philippines, but I'm Chinese, but I grew up in Canada, so I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm all three: I'm Canadian, Chinese, and Filipino. So I'm like, whatever, it's for me, it's not weird. But like when I ask like an ENFJ this, they get like really like rattled. I'm like, no, it's not weird. It's just like a factual question.
The first thing that came into my head was, why do you want to know? like why would you want to know?
Yeah.
Like, but that's the initial bias that like we have, is it's just like, will it make you happy for me to tell you? Like, I don't get it. I mean, yeah, that's really what I think goes through our heads.
Oh, is it because like you feel like if someone knows that information, you're gonna get judged? Is that what it is?
A little bit. And then also it's I don't know my identity, so I don't want you to know my identity. So why are you pressing for my identity? You're looking for something that isn't actually, like, it almost feels like no one really wants to know about you. So if someone's asking about you, it seems like fake. It's like, what? Like, why do you want to know about my identity? I don't want to know about yours. You just tell yours all the time.
Would you say that's like a self-projection?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because like for me, I like it when people try to get to know me and really ask those kind of questions. I actually like it. And then like even though I'm a DE, I still like it. And I like to get to know people. So I like the double decider stuff. But you're a pure EJ, so I guess for you want to get to know people, but they don't get to know you. That's a little bit.
I don't want anyone to know me. Like, the perfect party would be a masquerade, because I could hold my mask up all day and you wouldn't know who I was.
What's scary about people knowing the real you?
I mean, for me personally, it's like with masculine demon TI, it's mean, it's scary. Like, my identity is chubby.
Yeah.
So like in the extroverted world, I'm very feminine, flowy, woo, fun.
Yeah.
So I don't like to show the dark part a lot to other people.
Yeah.
And also as an EJ, like, you're constantly listening to other people talk about themselves, and that's what you're trained to do. It's like I'm waiting for everyone else to talk so that way I can respond to that. Like, the null space of me just being myself is only for me whenever I'm alone, because I'm supposed to be listening to you talk about yourself.
You know what? I personally like the masculine TI. I think it's when it comes out, it's the funniest thing ever. Like, because it's so vicious. It's like cold and vicious. Like my girlfriend has been having trouble with a coworker who I think is an ESFJ. And usually she's trying to be proper and appropriate for the social situation. But the few times that she did have a swing, my girlfriend told me a funny story. Like, she was like, I guess, doing the laundry or something, and then it's like one of those community laundry machine in like an apartment building.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure if I'm getting the story right, but like anyways, like you'll get the context. So basically, there's this one woman that always leaves her stuff inside the dryer. And one day the ESFJ coworker confronted that woman and said, "You always leave your underwear in the dryer. You need to take it out." And the woman's like, "How do you know that's my underwear?" And then she's like, "Well, who else has a bigger fat ass than that would wear that?" Like, it's like, it's so cold and vicious.
Got him.
But it doesn't come out often, right? Like, so when it comes to like vicious, it's cool, So
yeah, and it's like, well, like in our heads, it's not like I'm like, it's not mean. It's just a fact. You have the biggest ass in here.
Yeah.
Like, who else would have such a fat ass?
Yeah, to have this underwear, right? Like, so like that's why when I'm thinking, like, when you said like, oh, I don't want people to see my TI, I'm like, people should see it. It's fucking hilarious. It's great. you know?
But it's an isolator. It really is, because like if your own identity is built on like factual block banging,
Yeah.
it's hard to connect other people to it, you know?
Well, yours is not concrete. Yours is NT, right? So it's not like the ESFJs. Theirs is exactly like ST.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, like because those guys, they get really like I think one of my favorite things to see is like an ESFJ and ENFJ in the same room, and like watching them freak out about like, because they seem similar but they're actually very different.
So
So
different. Like it's seriously so different.
yeah, because the ESFJ is freaking out about someone trying to tell them how they should do their work,
Mhm.
but the ENFJ actually doesn't care how they do their work because it's consumed, it's ST. But they get aggressive about like how they figure out how to do the work because it's
Yep.
NT, right? But it's so
Yep.
subtle. So I think most people can't see it, but like if you study OPS, you can see it, and it's like I'm like,
Get
this is
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
So have you ever gotten like really upset that someone's trying to tell you like how to puzzle something out? Because you're like, no, that's my job. Like I that's what I do, you know?
Yeah. At about minute 35, me trying to explain something out loud, and I was like, this isn't being received well. Boom, upset automatically.
Oh, really?
And it's nothing that deep, but still, it's like, I can't puzzle this the way that you can puzzle this, and I don't know how your puzzle works. I only know how my puzzle works.
Right?
Um, you just wouldn't get it. That's like the thought that goes through my head, is like, you just wouldn't get it.
That's interesting. If so, if you're talking to someone that also has like anti-sleep, so
Yeah.
they're gonna be in the same boat as you then.
Yeah.
In terms of like you're both being stubborn at like who
Yeah.
to figure out who or
Yeah.
figure out what.
Like
Yeah.
like whenever you get like multiple coworkers with that NT sleep, meetings can get really funny because like it's hard to understand someone else's NI, and then whenever you have to display that NI to someone else, it's just like, that doesn't really make sense to me, but I believe you. I'm just gonna let you do whatever you want. And that's how like the sleep sees the sleep. I'm just gonna let you do whatever you want because I'm not gonna understand it. I know how I am. And so I'm just gonna trust you to do you.
Okay, so you have SF play and you can see what's cool in the spectrum,
Yeah.
what's popular. I have NT play. So if there's like a meeting and there's like a whole bunch of you guys, like ISTP, ENFJ, blah, 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 and you're all like sharing your how you puzzle something out. And then I pick the one that I see is the best one. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's someone else. How would you react to that when someone's like making the judgment call and like which person is the best at figuring this out? The person with the best solution, essentially. You know, like
Like,
if
how do I pick the best
I
solution?
don't know how would you
Oh,
react if someone did not choose you, like you didn't have the best
oh,
solution?
they didn't choose me
Yeah, like they chose someone else. Like
because
obviously,
my TI is kind of masculine. It's like, dude, fuck you. Like, like, so what?
yeah,
It's very like, I knew you wouldn't pick it because I know you're not highbrow enough. You're not smart enough to get
yeah.
it.
But then the person that I pick is like, let's say an ISTP who's like clearly everyone knows it's like a smart guy or
Yeah.
smart girl. So do you feel like threatened by that person who's like always getting picked because they seem to have like so much wisdom and stuff?
Um. Sometimes in very, very specific situations, yes, but like the FE is like, dude, I might not be the smartest, but like at least I get what they like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just everyone's addicted to their saviors. So if you're using your demons, then you'll always justify being bad at your demons because you're good at your saviors. But I mean, like the NITI does want to get picked, so like it does kind of hurt a little bit, yeah.
The FETI access is for me super interesting because like I always see you guys like it's almost like a spar almost. It's very interesting because like you're using the FE social game to play a little game of like who can outsmart the other person. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
And then inside the TI, it's like very calculated and like meticulous, right?
Yeah.
So on the outside, you're like, yay, hi, have fun, yay. But it's like it's all a game. It's a facade. You're trying to get to a point, and you're
Yeah.
using the social game to get you there. How do you personally see yourself doing that? Like with other people? Like it's like almost like a social. spar battle, and then it's like contest, and then to see who can outsmart who. I don't know if
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're saying. And I've seen the more masculine FE. The masculine FE is very big about that, like
I see.
where the TI is so movable. Masculine FE is trying to like use the social game to justify the TI.
Yeah.
And I do that to a certain extent, but only in very specific situations, like if it's like my job or I don't know, like never mind, I'll move on from that. But no, the feminine DE, sorry, feminine and I ran away.
Yeah.
The feminine DE is like more so like sticking down steady on your TI and like playing the FE game whenever you have to. So like I would never like go out of my way to do it, but like if like something happened to me, I would do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. How, oh my God, that's the feminine FE, masculine FE is so different. It's crazy.
So different. Because masculine FE like honestly kind of looks like TE. You would almost assume that they were the same if you like hadn't studied enough.
Yeah, or FI, or FI.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, masculine FE is crazy. It's like,
Scary.
yeah, no, it's yeah, I don't even know how to say it. It's just, it's like with the feminine FE people, they're like, it's the same function, but it
But it does feel so different. Like it feels so different.
because like the masculine TE and the feminine TE, they're kind of more similar. Just one's more pushy, right? But at the end of the day, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But the FE, it's like, the hell? Why is there such a big divide between those two? It confuses the hell out of me.
Exactly.
And then when I talk to people with masculine FE, they tell me like all the pain that they carry with them at home. I'm like, oh my God, that feels like FI, you know?
Yeah.
For you, the feeling goes away when we leave the room, right? It's like it's gone. So you, in a way, you feel like lighter. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, can I ask a question really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Do you edit your videos?
No.
Okay, just asking. Because the light's in my face and I'm like, I want to get up and go change it.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna do it anyway. I swear I'll be right back. Sorry, audience, I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine. This is more like a server problem.
Oh my gosh, I could barely see you because the light was right in my eyes. But now I'm back.
Did you fix it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Oh, did you? Is it like a blind?
Yeah, I was just sitting and relaxing and enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah.
There was my masculine.
Yeah, I saw your masculine. Yeah, and I saw your face too when you did it. You're like, it's like aggressive too. Yeah, like aggressive.
Yeah, and another thing too is like I always have something in my hands to play around with because they need to move all the time.
Yeah, I mean, did you watch a Zendaya video lately? Like,
yes.
Did you see her like punching the balloon? Like,
yes, yes. That's why I was like, dude, I see a lot of similarities between the two of us, but I can't figure out what it is.
Yeah, but it's so crazy too. Like with the masculine sensory, it's like when you do something like smashy, it looks good too. It looks like it's like the right way you should like hit something. There's like a certain like finesse to it. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like when I was watching her like punching the balloon, I'm like, it looks
You're
like
supposed to be doing that.
It looks really good. Like when you know,
almost cinematic to a certain extent.
yeah. It's like how it should look. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I have a few more questions for you, and then we will wrap up the interview. So a few rapid fire questions. Let's go with double observing. Your balance with like gathering and organizing, focusing more on the organizing side, of course, plus your consume last. So, but I have noticed that even with consume last EJs, it's like you can still use that SE to gather some stuff. It's still like you can still have some use of it. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, so being a double observer is like super awesome because you're never really afraid like about, I don't know, the government, the Illuminati. I would join both of those if I could, like I'm not scared of them. And it's just like kind of cool to like let things roll off your back and not get super worried about, I don't know, I guess events and pathways that are happening. It's just not hard. It's just not scary to me because I don't see it the same way.
Yeah, so I travel a lot, and when I meet like EJs and IPs, and they're like, the stuff that they freak out about, the stuff that I freak out about, to them is like not a thing. Like, for example, I traveled
Yeah.
to Myanmar before, and then this EJ guy, I was asking him how he took his passport photo or his visa photo, and he's like, I just took my cell phone, put it in my face, and took a picture and sent it like that. I'm like, wouldn't you get in trouble? Because that's not professional. He's like, I don't care, I'll figure it out. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, huh? How does it work? Because I'm scared. I'm gonna get in trouble with the officials because I'm scared of authority, right?
Yeah.
And then like with the IPs too, it's like the same deal. They're like, no, I don't care about the no.
Because like there's like this knowledge that you can rest upon that's like, if I mess it up, I can do it again. And if I can't do it again, then I probably shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Right.
Like it's more like do, like you use do words, like I can do that again. It's like just, I don't know, it's more about the action than it is about the long term.
Yeah, but then when I'm traveling and I meet like IPs and EJs, where it gets weird is, let's say I'm traveling with like a decider friend, and
Yeah.
when you ask for directions, they're not gonna do it. They don't want to ask for directions, and I'm like, I was gonna ask for direction once. My friend's like, stop me. I'm like, dude, the solution we need is just that person. I just asked that person. They can tell us.
No, it's like that is so embarrassing. You're supposed to double observe that ahead of time so that way no one knows that sometimes you're weak. Okay. Don't let other people know that I'm weak sometimes. Okay. I could be lower on the totem pole.
But why does that make you feel weak? Because it's just a question,
It's irrational. Like there is no good reason why. It's just irrational. Like
Yeah, because people ask for directions all the time, right? It's like,
it's such a normal thing. And I like if someone asked me for directions, I would be so happy to give them out.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what's
exactly.
funny.
Yeah, you won't think they're weak. You're like, I would love to help you. I like helping
Yes.
people. Yeah, so
Yes, can't let the tribe know that I don't know everything all the time, okay?
yeah. Oh my God, that's so weird. I find that so weird. I'm like, just
Yeah.
ask for directions. It's not a big deal. But okay, but I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah, I guess, you know, to each their own. I mean, I'm being weird about like the organizing and stuff. So,
Yeah.
everyone's weird about something. Yeah.
About something, yeah.
Yeah. So you are a decider, and I guess one of your biggest fears, judgment. Can you talk about the fear of judgment?
Yeah, so basically there's a constant fear that I'm gonna get kicked out of a group, like, and I'll never know why because, like being afraid of judgment is like, judgment's pretty DI, and it's like I don't really get my own DI, so why would I get other people's DI? And because I don't get their DI, I could get kicked out. So it's like I have to be perfect all the time. And judgment, like, it's funny, yeah, like the saying that EJs are the most judgmental people, like, yeah. So I spend all my time, and EJ's judgment is very like surface level. It's like, that shirt looks terrible on you.
Yeah.
Like, why did you show up today? You were too busy yesterday. Like, like the roads look like crap today. Like, it's like the roads look like crap because someone didn't do their job. Like, it's so surface level. But I know that I'm like, my judgments are surface level, but I assume that everyone else's are like more vicious, more ill intent, because the people, like, I just assume everyone else is DI, like lead DI, like an asshole.
Yeah. Everyone is like
You never know when they're gonna kick you out.
Yeah, everyone's like a Simon Cowell, right? Like with the most vicious,
Yes.
like judgmental, like comments.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's interesting because like the way you describe it, it's almost like the IP sphere of tribe hate, but then because they are also scared of getting kicked out. They're also scared of yeah, but it's the same for you then? You have like a similar fear, like you don't want to get
Yeah. I mean, just people aren't consistent in my world. They're not level like observations are.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you do end up getting the same fear in a different lens though. Like I have to please everyone to let them keep me in. And I guess the IP is more like I'm doing the best that I can so that way the tribe will love me. That's kind of like how I probably see it.
Oh, I see. So the IP is they want to be the best, so they'll be too valuable to get rid of. And
Yes.
for you, you're helping so many people that they like you, and there's no reason
Yes.
to get
They'll
rid of
keep
you.
me. Yeah.
But they're both scared to get kicked out.
Yes.
Okay, that's weird. Okay.
I know.
I have
Totally.
never once had that thought in my head, but it's
I know.
interesting to hear like from your perspective. And
Yes, and I think it's really funny to see like observer parents with decider kids. Like I know like I have friends and stuff, and like
Yeah.
dad's too busy watching Fox News, like freaking out about World War III.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like the kids over there like, I'm having a bad day. Don't kick me out.
Yeah. How do you? Okay. What do you? What do you think? What do you like? How do you perceive it when like you see your your observer buddies or family member being weird about this stuff? Like what's going in your head when they're being like ridiculous?
Figure it out. Sort yourself out. Which is like I mean, now that I'm in ops, I kind of get like how real it feels, but like the brain chemicals only pass in that, you know, train station for a few seconds and then they move on. Like that's like anxiety and fear about events happening and pathways and stuff like that. It's just they're not stuck. People are stuck. The events and timelines and all that shit not stuck.
Yeah.
Naturally. No, like obviously you can like work to make either one of those a little bit more loose, but
Yeah, I'm just like hearing you say things earlier about like getting scared of getting kicked out. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. Because like if you get kicked out, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself to make you happy. And then the IP is like, if they get kicked out, they don't know, they don't belong anywhere because they can't find another tribe, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, I see now. The IJs and the EPs were like, oh, if I get kicked out, oh, I know what to do. I can have fun by myself.
Find a new tribe. It'll be fine.
Yeah, or I find a new tribe. Yeah, it's like, whatever. You know, I mean,
I'll find on my own. Yeah.
I'll still be sad or upset, but
Yeah.
I'll be fine. I'll recover, right?
But it's not stuck.
Yeah, no, not stuck. Yeah, I can move on.
Yeah.
All right. Last question for you. Is your audio kinesthetic? So your audio, like, how are you with like learning through sound, music? You know, like, what do you have good hearing?
Yeah. So with audio, there's such a like attention to all the different noises in a room at any given time. Anything is a distraction if it's not like the one true noise that you're supposed to be listening to. So learning as an audio through someone talking out loud isn't super good because of that heightened sense of like hearing. So if someone's coughing in the background, I'm distracted for a second and then I can go back up to watch the teacher. But I forgot her words in the meantime, and now I'm left with this little gap. So learning for me is more of like just like double masculine. Like I need to have it and hold it and do it. But I do like, for me, music like does provide like feelings. So I can like, if I'm in a feeling state and I'm, you know, I'm a little sad, I'll put on some sad music. If I'm happy, I'll put on happy music. Yeah, and then also like it's so cliche, but like yeah, like I'll write songs and like I'll do like mashups for like different songs that I like and you know mix them up. There's definitely an attraction to music itself.
Gotcha. And I guess you already explained the kinesthetic thing because you work with your
Oh
hands.
God, yeah. Like I personally just feel so double masculine, like it's ridiculous. Like, but I guess maybe you've seen the class where Dave talks about like I feel double masculine, but like only in my hands and like my head and my feet. So like I don't have the whole body thing going on, but like with my hands, my head, and my feet, like they're moving around all the time.
Yeah. Well, you're not aggressive with people, and you're not a true kinesthetic. You're like audio kinesthetic, right? So the audio comes first. So yeah, you can do the kinesthetic stuff, but it's not perfect like those guys, you know, like
yes. And the absolute stunning jokes that come from audios are freaking hilarious because they're not pushing on other people, they're just pushing on the thing. Like, like it's just like there's some funny jokes from audios.
I do remember them saying that like the masculine and feminine are like the funniest usually.
Yes. And it's because you're kind of wiggly with people, but like, you know, everyone wants to throw something every now and then. So like you're giving them that little masculine sensory release. Like I'll do it for you so that way it's funny.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a little bit interesting because you mentioned that the tribe, because you have feminine DE, if they're not, you don't see them as aggressive, but you're still a decider, so you're scared to approach new people, I guess, or
oh yeah, I'm terrified of new people. Like absolutely, completely, and totally terrified of new people. especially with double activated NI. Like new isn't good.
But
And
it's
new
weird.
people, the worst.
But it's weird because you don't perceive people as aggressive, but you're scared of them.
Right.
How can
What's
you,
the disconnect there?
yeah, how can you be scared of someone that you're not scared of? I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, so like with masculine DI, like the self standards are so high that I'm afraid of me meeting new people. I'm not afraid of new people meeting me. It's just like I have such high self standards that I want it to go perfectly. And if I don't do that, I'm gonna be mad at myself. It really has nothing to do with the other people in the room, honestly.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Like
Yeah.
you are the threat, not the other person.
Oh yeah, I'm the threat all the time, and I'm the threat to myself the most.
It's so weird, with like the masculine DI and feminine DE. It's like you're always scared that you're gonna hurt someone's feelings, so you kind of tippy toe. So
Yes.
it's so weird because like the masculine DE, they're just hurting everyone's feelings, and for you, it's like whatever, I can take it,
Yeah.
But like
And
what?
then,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I was just gonna add, it's like when a masculine DE like punches you with like their words or and whatnot, it's like not as bad because I think there's like deep down inside you feel like you can hurt them even worse, so you don't want to.
That's literally the fear that I was like trying to reference earlier about like it's an actual demon in there.
Yeah.
Like the fear is that I'm going to show like how strong that TI is and actually ruin someone's life. Like a masculine DE will just like shove you now, but like I'm gonna say something that's going to like literally ruin your next 6 months. And that's a lot of power that I have to hold inside here because I don't let it slip out often. So when I do, it's ugly.
Yeah, that's dangerous. It is definitely a bomb. I can see it. Yeah, it's like don't be scared of double masculine. Be scared of the feminine DE. They're the ones that can really hurt you.
Yes, the cat energy builds up for so long until finally I'm like,
oh my god, yeah. My girlfriend did it recently to her family. Like the cat, like she's feminine DE also, right? And like like it's like pent up anger and resentment that built up over a long time. And it was like a massive nuclear bomb. She was talking to her parents on the phone and she freaking screamed at them at the top of her lungs. And now the whole family is like rattled. Like it's like
we thought that you were so nice and fun. Like, why are you so angry with us? It's like, this is 6 years building.
6 years exactly. Yeah. I've done it before too, and I would say it like I have rattled a lot of people when it does. Now I know like it's not good. It's good to like leak it out bit by bit, like because if you build up to a big bomb, it's bad.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. All right, cool. Do you have any last minute question for me, Natalie, or you're good to go? I mean, I know you can seem last, but
yeah, I was about to say thinking on the fly, not for me. So I'm gonna lie and say, no, I'm good. I don't have any questions.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for coming out and doing this interview. We don't have many ENFJs. I think you're the second one I've interviewed that's not like the jumper, Like yeah. So that's super cool that you got to share about your life and how you perceive things and talk about some of the deeper stuff like your fears and judgment stuff. So that's really cool. And take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and you're on the group.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
For sure.
Bye.